Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks, and in this episode, we talk about scams. Because, if you listen to one of my episodes, then you realize that I was a victim of a scam and such like that. In an ideal world, what would have happened is that, we would have been rich enough where we can actually, we would have been rich enough and advanced enough where we can actually get to afford things or such. But, you know, world is not equal like that. There's a lot of inequalities, and when you're poor, you do anything to not be poor because the trials of being poor is really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. So one of the things you have to be mindful of is scams. So because the thing about it is that when you were poor, you may be a person that said, okay, you may be the one that said, boom, you're the one going to do the scam or such like that. But when you're older and you say boom, you become legit and become legit, you may become the victim of a scam. so, so it's like it's the circle of life. The circle of life. There's nothing new under the sun. So it's like it's one of those things where it can happen to anybody. Recently, it happened to one of the biggest person that it biggest person or fastest man in the world at the time of this recorded and such. So it's like, yo, it can really happen to anybody. And the thing about it is that when it happens, money can be the root of many stresses, like losing money and all those stuff, especially when you're the richer you are, the more money you lose, it really can destroy yourself. And I know it because you work so hard and you have all these plans for it and all those stuff. And then boom, someone takes it. It's just one of those things. But I know one thing I learned, one thing that I realized, I'm doing this 9 to 5 and you're making money, is that you really have time to do things outside of work. And that's one of the things where I realized, when you're the bigger you are, you have people, things like accountant and lawyers and tax people and all those stuff. That's the reason why they have that, because when you're making money and stuff like that, you really have time to do that. But one of the things that I realized is that you have to actually make the time to secure your finances, at least yourself. Be the CEO of, just like I say, I'd be the CEO of your home. You have to be the CEO of your finance as well. You have to be actually aware of it to understand it, because you can't really give someone else uh, the work to actually look over your money, because they may scam you as well. And then not only that, it's it's not really, that's the road to independence is you having your own stuff. If you basically don't have the time to actually manage your own stuff, you're not really free. You're not really free. The stuff is tying you down. So it's like if you have to actually hire people to actually manage your money, that kind of means that you have either too much money to manage, or you do not have a proper way to actually take the time. You haven't put in the groundwork, the fundamentals to actually be able to actually manage your money. I know that's one of the stuff where I realize that, and that's the thing that I'm looking into, so I could actually accurately do this stuff. And not a sense to say that I would never have something like a counter to that, but it's just that I need to have at least a base level. Even if it be like I need to have a base level of understanding of what what I have, so that when things happen, like a scam or a fraud, I can make executive decisions quickly to say, boom, do this or do that. You know, and you have to be able to. And one of the things is that what I realized, with the bigger scam, that happened to the bigger person, bigger than me, was that it may have been something that have been going on for a while, and he may have not realized it until it was too late. It was too late when the company that stores this fund found out. And why is that? Because you know complacency, complacency, and its complacency is that that word is really relevant to both his career, and the finances as well. Because when he became the fastest man in the world, he was so fast that boom, he could be very complacent at many times because he was so dominant, and then boom, what happened was that in his last leg, the age really got to him, and the complacency, the talent was not able to actually, you know, the older I got, hard work actually replace talent. Same thing with the finance. Boom, you get rich through your talents, but it's the hard work that actually keeps the money. So talent can't really keep the money, bro. Talent may allow you to make the money, but you have to actually take the time to understand the money, and that's how it works, how to properly keep it secure, and how to properly maintain it, invest it, and then make it grow. That's what that's what the money thing is. It's not really talent can make you money, but it takes hard work and understanding to actually grow it. You know, that's the reason why you don't hear of a scammer being the richest person in the world, because the skill can get you the money, but it takes hard work to actually can take it to another level when you get the money. So it's just one of those things that you realize. So what this basically this episode is gonna be like. No, the richer you get, the more you're liable of scam, and it's not. And the more that you understand that you're liable of it, the more you're aware of your ability of going to protect yourself. Even when you're starting your business or such like that, what will happen is that you will lose money, and then not only that, you in your starting up your business, your business may seem like a scam at first, because it may not. You're starting from the bottom and all those stuff, so you can't. You don't have a reliable reputation as well as yet. So your stuff, just like my podcast and just like that, it may seem as a scammer too good to be true, because the full potential of it is not realized. So it's one of those phases where you realize that, okay, if you listen to the podcast, what I would say is that you have to listen with an open mind to discern the good from the bad, take the good from the bad, and such, just like everything in life. You have to be able to discern the scams, and then when you're able to discern it, then you're less likely to be caught by it. And then if you're caught by it, you're not overreacting. You're able to just calmly say, okay, boom, I've been caught. What are the next steps now to actually minimize this damage? And then take effect immediately. And then boom. So that's how I handled that scenario, that small scenario. And then in that episode, I also mentioned where I said that I may have not actually took it serious if it wasn't the bigger scam attempts that was tried to be taken, because there was a small one and there were big ones. So what this episode is also mentioned as well, you have to actually take the small ones serious as the big one, because those small ones will be the reason why you take the big one. You don't take the big one seriously. And then the thing about it is that you know All it takes is if you take a small amount from a lot of people, you can get a scammer can really get really rich. So just I say there are many forms of scam. You you may not be able to learn it all, but what you can learn to do is how to properly secure your finances. Learn what is the best method. Is cash the best method, whatever, or such. But you have to learn the best method for you, and then use the appropriate um, method at the right place because each method is good. Where just that, depending on your level, certain things are better, and you'll if the richer I get or the more advanced, we understand. I understand as well. So that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
you know, Learning the use, of a tool, maybe at a work or different places that you can actually use in your personal world or your own business world to advance yourself. And why I say this that now I'm doing this training at this work, this work in my field, you know, and I wanted to take it serious because it's in my field and I wanted to maximize. And then by the time of this episode, I'll be in the underjob training, so that actually means that I actually pass through that exam testing phase, and then now just doing the learning part to do the real work now. And what happened was that there was this tool that we were using. And this tool, I've seen it for many years, going through school, university, and stuff like that. And I never had a clue